Hola amigos, I am here doing something very unprecedented here in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Walking outside. That seems to be very controversial these days, as many of you may have noticed. There's this thing called the coronavirus that's been going around, and governments have utilized it to force everyone into their houses and threaten to fine them thousands of dollars, possibly even imprison them for a year for walking outside. This is one of the many things I was really concerned about several months ago, a couple months ago, I guess. It's all happened very fast. That led me to coming out here to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. If it cuts out at any point, hopefully I'll be back as soon as possible. It is shady data connection on Mexican internet, and I'm next to a beach. But nonetheless, I hope everyone hits that like button and sends in your questions. This is a Q&A after all, and I look forward to hearing from you. It's been an incredible 3 weeks now. It's been more than 3 weeks that I have been here in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And I've met a lot of amazing people. A lot of people have reached out and tried to help me one way or another. And also, let's just turn this around for a second. Just look at that view. And yeah, there's some people wearing masks and stuff. There's some cops walking around, but generally speaking, people aren't panicked here, and they're taking precautions, but they're not panicking. There's still some restaurants open. I don't know if you can see this in the distance, but there is a cruise ship docked there with alleged coronavirus victims, but doctors on the boat claim that it's more likely the flu, and they were at sea for 25 days after the flu went through the ship. So it's been a while, you know. Jonah Curry says, hey Josh, Jeff said the hotels are closing. Is this true? Hotels in Puerto Vallarta? Yes. Airbnbs? No. And even if they were, you can pay them to use the house. I'm moving to a new Airbnb in the next few days. Not that I didn't like the one I'm at, but the internet wasn't good, and honestly, there are people that kept smoking cigarettes in the hallway right outside my door, so I'm an ex-smoker, but I have asthma. I can't deal with that, so I asked to be moved. But anyway, they have federally banned walking on the beach, but there's still lots of people walking on the beaches because Mexicans don't listen to government cartel authority, and by cartel I mean literally the government. Crod7435 says, what up, Josh? Are you still staying in Mexico? Yep, that's where I am. Isidro Cachua says, can you go to Oscars and see how it looks now? Well, I don't know if my internet will work that well. I'm by the Arcs here on the Malecon, and there's a good chance my internet will cut out if I walk that way. I'm in a kind of a safe zone. Much of the Malecon today is shut down for sewage treatment, which is nice. But anyway, there's still a few people walking around. There's a lot of controversy about vacationers still coming here, but I'm not seeing them. I was all over Twitter. Number one trend in Mexico the other day on Twitter was Puerto Vallarta, and I looked into it, and it was because apparently there are people coming to Mexico still and coming to Vallarta as tourists, and locals were mad about it. I don't see the tourist industry too mad about it, but honestly, I haven't seen any of these people, and it's honestly fake news as far as I've seen. Anyway, hit that like button if you haven't already. We have 60 viewers out of 138,000 people at WHAM, so that's an issue. Don H says, is the government the same thing as the cartel? Well, I mean, governments are cartels, that's what I mean. Like, by definition, a government is a cartel. Let me go in the shade a little bit here, not because I'm going to burn, but because my phone is going to explode. The screen went super dark to save battery. But anyway, we got 66 viewers out of 138,000 people. Sounds legit. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Send in those super chats. Check the links below. And join our new newsletter at www.iamband.com. I'm at the Puerto Vallarta sign here, as you could probably see. And what's crazy is that this area is usually overwhelmed with tourists to the point where you have to line up to take a picture in front of the sign. As you can see, I am by myself here. It's empty. But I'm doing something very dangerous according to most countries right now. I'm outside. I'm walking outside in a very secluded area, as you can see. There's no one around. Talk about social distancing. I'm closer to my neighbors if I was sitting in my house, door to door. But anyway, Ryan N says, nice mask. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. It's this mask that I was born with that, look, the thing is, I am actually immune to it. I can't go into it much right now, but I literally cannot get it. So I'm not too worried about that. And also, I don't see a lot of like old people around me right now. I'm between this walk and my apartment, so, which is like right there. Dana Parkey says, hey Josh, hey, good to see you. Jonah Curry says, he's talking about me, Josh. Oh, okay. I see. Guy Fawkes. You know, that's a weird thing, isn't it? That a couple years ago they were criminalizing people, arresting people, beating people in the streets, and throwing people in jail for wearing masks. Now they're saying if you don't wear a mask, you might go to jail in some places. I mean, think about how the tides turn. Whatever benefits the establishment more, whatever benefits the government more. John Stromita says, I'm using my mask as a jockstrap. Very nice. Yeah. Well, good for you. Thanks for the info there. It's a good image. Let's see. Watcher says, how do you feel? Amazing. Vitamin C, sun, vitamin D, vitamin A, all the stuff necessary. I will be doing an interview tomorrow live at, let's see, 1:15 p.m. PST with Benny Wills and Dan Dix at World Alternative Media. You can tune in live for that. I'm also going to be doing an interview with Dr. Shiva at, I believe, 2 p.m. PST the following day on Thursday. So I hope you guys tune in for that. Let's see. Jonah Curry says, stop taking stupid orders, order takers. I 100% agree. It's amazing how easily people bend the knee when a crisis happens. Never let a crisis go to waste, and that's exactly what the establishment is utilizing this for, which, by the way, Bill Gates said himself the other day, he doesn't think this illness will actually kill that many people and will actually probably teeter off by the end of April, but it's important to, go into or follow the orders that people have been told to follow. Yet he also said in the same interview that those orders will likely kill millions of people, more people than the coronavirus is said to kill. So think about that for a second. Like, let's consider that for a second. The guy who is pushing Event 201, who is in charge of these massive exercises, says to do all these things that the government tells you to, that he says will end up killing more people long term than the virus. Does that not give anyone kind of an idea of what the idea here is? It's about control. It's not about helping you. It's about control. And as you can see, I have the ocean behind me here. Recently, people have been arrested for swimming in the ocean, for paddleboarding in the ocean. I mean, think about that for a second. Talk about social distancing, a vast ocean that takes up 80% of the world. It's just ridiculous. Parshant Gupta 20066 says, Josh, you are my hero. Take a bow, sir. Salute. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But honestly, I feel like people keep calling me crazy for all this stuff that I've been predicting over and over again and has been vindicated in over and over again. But I also can't help but think, like, isn't everyone else crazy? I mean, this stuff was all obvious. It was all obviously on the horizon. It was all obviously going to happen. And it was all, like, as far as the monetary system goes, just basic economics. And I'm the crazy person for talking about it. It's just such a weird doublespeak kind of Orwellian world we live in here. We got a beautiful scene behind me and we got some thugs here. So yeah, guys, I honestly have really enjoyed being here right now, and it's been an amazing experience, and I've honestly feel a lot safer. Sorry, I got distracted by the thugs. I feel a lot safer. It's, I'm seeing people, there's riots and looting already in New York City. I'm seeing evidence of, I just posted a video a couple hours ago on the mass graves that they're planning in New York City. And I'm told that this is a scary place to be. Like, come on, give me a break. This is like paradise. And obviously, people handle panic much better here. Mike Baker says, are you being harassed? No, I'm just calling them by their true names, that's all. Yeah, I mean, think about it, I'm here by a beautiful beach, really nice people that are happy to see me. Everything's cheap, and people handle panic better here, and self-sustainability is better here. As far as people have been through worse things over the last 100 years here than they have in the heavily indoctrinated Canada and the U.S., where people have dealt with decades, 100 years of a public school system that indoctrinates them into communism and collectivism. By the way, if you haven't already, hit that like button on this video and send in those super chats. They go a long way, and they're the only thing keeping Wham alive. So thank you so much to everyone that's tuning in, and check those links below as well. We appreciate anything you could do to keep independent media alive, as we're all getting demonetized right now, and they're shutting down a bunch of channels just for talking about the coronavirus. They're using it as a catalyst to shut down channels. I thought it was going to be the election, but it seems that the election is canceled this year, and at least postponed. Along with everything else, every other bread and circuses sports kind of, game, movie kind of situation, like a Hollywood shut down, sports are shut down, Olympics, NBA, NHL, NFL, all those things are shut down, just like the sport of politics. Jonah Curry says, love has won. Well, I certainly do hope so. Bart 1059 sent Canadian $5 in the super chat. Thank you so much. There's another dinner on me, Josh. Well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. I will definitely utilize that for dinner tonight. And again, those super chats go a long way. We are getting hit hard. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Send in your questions, guys. Happy to answer any questions you might have. Again, I'm in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, doing something very, very controversial. I am walking outside. I know a lot of you haven't seen this in a while. This is water. These are some rocks. We've got a beautiful sky above us, palm trees, which are definitely a nice addition. And, a person here and there. I don't understand wearing a mask outside right now, but anyway, I'll just let that go. Let's see, we got super chat from, let me just scroll down here. John Stromita sent $20 in the super chat, says, a Mexican lunch and dinner, bro. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You guys are heroes for sending that. Seriously, it is keeping me alive. I wasn't expecting 2 or 3 months ago that I would be literally just leaving the US and fleeing down to Mexico to stay in Puerto Vallarta, which I'd never been to previously, and live here for several months. I'm on week 3. I'm on week 4. I'm 3 weeks in. Gold and Silverman says, all of them fools who voted for Donald Trump regret that now. Well, people should just regret voting in the first place, because they're always voting for the lesser of evils or whatever it might be. One criminal versus another. The fake anti-establishmentarianness that always promises great things, gets elected and screws everyone. That is how politics works. It's all about, getting a bunch of people to willingly bow down to the lesser of the evil, to enforce that evil that they think is the better form of the evil on the populace at gunpoint. It's wrong, it's immoral, it doesn't work either. It's not logical. Jonah Curry says, come on, man, they both work for the same elite. Yeah. Dustin Bayless says, how is it in PV? Did you rent a place? Yeah, Airbnb is very efficient for stuff like this, though they have shut down things like Airbnb in Oaxaca in Mexico, which is a problem. I'm not sure if that's going to carry over here, but I'm sure there's a way that I can find a way anyway that I can stay here if that does indeed happen. I really don't understand why people wear masks walking along a beach outside. Like, there's no one around them. It's like empty. There's a few people every now and then around here that are like, perhaps riding a bike, like that guy. By the way, this is what's above me, if anyone's wondering. Send in your questions, guys. I really appreciate all the questions and super chats and hitting that like button and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's see what we got here. Annette says, people are so brainwashed, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny, but it's also really sad, because this virus is leading to a bigger virus. That virus being the military-industrial complex, the monetary-industrial complex, the pharmaceutical-industrial complex, and the fall of civilization, and the control of the populace via this massive economic desperation that people are facing today. That concerns me a lot. I don't know how long the coronavirus is going to go on, maybe a few more months, maybe a year, but as far as everything else, the impact from it is going to last maybe 10, maybe 15 years, maybe more. And it's going to lead to, as Bill Gates even says, possibly millions of deaths, including suicides, drug overdoses, health crises among people who need to be outside and need to get their vitamins. They're stuck inside for 2 years. That's really bad for you. Years ago, a bunch of gangbangers came after me and tried to kill me. I ended up staying in my house for a long time, which is where I learned a lot of the stuff I know today. I spent a lot of time researching and reading books and watching documentaries and all sorts of stuff. And I stayed inside most of 2 years when I was about 16 to 18. And I'll tell you, it nearly killed me. I mean, my health was so bad from doing that. Dustin Bayless says, go to Pee Pee for dinner if they are open. One of the best places. I know where it is. It's close to where I'm staying, but it's closed, unfortunately, like most places. The only places I know of that are open right now around this direct area is La Posta y Mi Creencia y Buon something, it's a cafe. I forget the name of it. Con sent Australian $5.99 in the super chat, says cheers. Thank you so much, Con. I really appreciate that. You are awesome, as always, helping us stay alive here. Ray Drake says scam-demic. I 100% agree. That's what I am seeing right now. I do see some gringos behind me here. I'm one of very few people left. And everyone thinks I'm on vacation. I have to keep telling them no. Like the mariachi bands try to get money out of me, trying to play music one after the other, because I'm the only guy they see that's white. So I just see like 15 to 20 mariachi bands in a row asking me if I want them to play romantic music for me. And I'm like, no, I understand your situation. It's terrible, but no, please, for the love of God, stop. But, people have to make a living, and they're utilizing their talents to the best of their abilities, and that's definitely a good thing. But yeah, anyway, send in your questions. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Let's see. Jason Smith says, put a filter on your beak. Yeah, no. Anyway, what else do we got here? Surrounded by cowards says, it's sadly become a fact. We live in a communist world. Yeah, well, I would say globally right now what we're dealing with is fascism communism. It's a mixture of fascism and communism wherever it benefits government the most, and wherever they can hide the belief of market competition, where at least some of the little people could have a few little small businesses here and there, so they can't just say, oh, there's only 3 companies that run everything. It's just all veneer. It's all fake, just like the monetary system. Hector Cova says, do you even like Mexico? I love Mexico. It's one of my favorite countries in the world. It's a cleaner version of Puerto Vallarta is a cleaner version of my favorite city in the world, Malaga, Spain. The reason I like Malaga more is just because I feel like I don't know. There's castles. It's just a history. I like the history there, though. I love the history here. I just like the mixture of the Venetian and the Spanish architecture and everything there. But with that said, I think that there is a lot of great qualities to Mexico, and I love Mexico. It just depends where. I don't love every place in Mexico. I don't love every place in the US. I don't love every place in Canada, especially. But yeah, I do definitely like Mexico. Tim C says, stop pacing back and forth. Walk north along the Malecon. Cheers. North? No, well, they have sewage treatment going on over there, so I can't walk north right now. They shut it down to have raw sewage flowing everywhere. You don't want to see it. It's horrible and it smells terrible. That's why I'm over here. I was going to walk back there, but I decided to walk here instead so I can survive. I could really use the shade, though. I think I found some shade over here. The problem is there's coconuts in the trees, and it's a large cause of death over here. Hit that like button if you haven't already, guys. I really appreciate any questions you might have, and super chats go a long way as well. Hector Cova says, what's your favorite basketball team in the NBA? I would say I don't really have one, because I really am not a fan of basketball. I played basketball as a kid when I was younger on a team, and I was terrible, and I'm not a fan of it. Let's see here. AK1776 says, it's a beautiful 57 degrees here. Really jealous of you right now. Yeah, it's like, oh man, look at these pigeons. I would say that at this moment, it's probably a good 95. Oh my God. Pigeons are doing that thing where they fly in a circle in a pack, and they're coming back this way. Oh my God. Oh, fuck. Sorry, shouldn't swear. I just don't want to get crapped on right now. Oh my god, they keep coming back. Oh my god, I hate that. I can't wait for someone to clip that out and have fun with that video. Keisha Rhinestone says, I don't follow sports either. Yeah. Manix Wong says, it's awesome. Rick the Hopeful Volunteer says, a little pigeon poop is good for you. Said no one ever? Like, what? I don't think so. I'm going to stand in the direct shade here so my phone doesn't overheat. Yeah, but send in those questions, guys. I really appreciate it. Aldo Hernandez says, have you tried cocaine? What is with the questions today? NBA, do I like Mexico? Have I done cocaine? I'm not going to go into that at all. But no, I don't actually do any drugs at this point in my life at all. I have alcoholic drinks from time to time, but that's about it. It's too much to worry about, too much to focus on in the world to spend time doing that kind of stuff. Just completely distracts me from important jobs and tasks at hand. I had enough fun when I was younger. Fish Knot says, are you the token white guy down there? There's a few others, but I'm the young guy. I mean, almost every white guy down here is like 75. Carl Torres says, hey, what do you think about the gold backs they use in Utah? Do you think it's a good alternative to the dollar? Well, anything that's not under legal tender, it's good to have competing currency, and I know of it, and I think it's a good idea to always play currencies against each other, and that's, especially right now with what we're seeing in the world, that's never been more important. With that said, I think there's, you could use whatever's valuable, labor versus value, so it comes down to subjectivity. So, for example, gold and silver, there's scarcity, there is a use case, there's demand. Bitcoin, there's scarcity, there's use case, there's demand, especially with international transactions and easy peer-to-peer transferring. Then there's things like goats. Some people might want a goat. Most people won't, and businesses will decide without legal tender laws which currencies to take and which ones not to take, and I think that's most important. Cass Love 111 says, I was born in Mexico. We're in Mexico, Cass. Glad to see you here. Annette says, I love coffee. Yeah, who doesn't? I don't trust anyone that doesn't like coffee. Let's see. Bart 1059 says, pigeons, talk about coronavirus. I was feeding pigeons yesterday, to be honest. I got fruit at some place here, and it was just like really old. And that's the case in a lot of places right now here, because no one is actually going to these restaurants, so they have overstock of food that they weren't expected to have. So a lot of the food is just kind of going not that good, not that well. They just have a lot that they don't want to throw out. Let's see. Watcher says, got to run. Be safe. Be safe to you as well, my friend. Let's see. We got a super chat here somewhere. Where is it? Here we go. Dana Parkey sent $4.99 in the super chat. Says, have a couple beers instead of drugs. I appreciate that very much, and I will do that. One. All right, I'm back. Well, we just lost like 90 people. Keep going live here. I bought unlimited, and my plan keeps shutting down my video, so I can't do this. I did this one live stream that uses all my data for the month. It's crazy. So I had to just pay another $12 quickly through text so that I could get my data back for the rest of the stream. It's ridiculous. Anyway, again, for if you didn't hear me before, I wanted to thank you to DT for the $2 super chat. They shut down production of Corona beer here in Mexico. And it's pretty amazing how this is actually just affecting every single person in this country and in the world. $1 billion, around $1 billion, or not 1 billion, 1 billion jobs worldwide. Sorry, I'm just totally distracted because my stream keeps going down and it's blinking like crazy. I'm so sick. The internet is running fine. It's that my cell plan decided, you know what, no, you're just going to not have internet right now. We're just going to shut you down and bring you from 180 out of 138,000 viewers to 60. So anyway, good times. Let me know what you guys think. Send in your questions, send in your super chats, hit that like button if you haven't already. Captain Kickass says, Josh, what do you think of Boris Johnson? You think he's going to live? We should start a pool. Yeah, I'm probably not going to bet on that pool, but yeah, I don't know. Probably, but he would be a great representative to scare people more. Just like my recent video that I posted just today on how they are planning, anyway, for mass graves in New York City. Lucky Strike says, why wouldn't they just rename the beer? I don't think they're doing it because of the name. I think they're doing it because, like, they had to shut down production. The government is trying to come back with their third phase of their emergency plan in Mexico to shut down all businesses, but I don't think it's going to work very well. People are going to do what they want anyway, and I think people will continue on as they do anyway. So, let's see, we got Path to Ruin. Sorry. Did Carol Baskin kill her husband? I have no idea, and I have no thought or insight on that because I just refuse to watch the show. I'm not interested in Netflix trends. I apologize. I'm just not. Hit that like button if you haven't already, guys. Martin Tierney says it's going to be a long, hard road, but we will win. I agree. Eventually, we will. The problem is that we are going to be in for a lot more hurt before we win, and we have to learn from our mistakes and be self-sustainable, and it's going to be survival of the fittest to some degree as well. JH2450 says, Josh, stop complaining, fix your net issues, you're a pro, so be it, and don't act like a student. Oh, great, we got a troll here. Parshant Gupta 20066 says, apparently this year, Corona beer had more 10% in profits in first 3 months. Yeah, well, I mean, everyone here is still drinking it. I walk around Mexico, everyone's drinking, but I think the biggest market was internationally for sure. Let's see, we got more people commenting. Vishnu Nath says, have you considered growing a mullet, Josh? I have not considered that, nor will I. Though I did have some pretty bad hair in the 90s. Captain Kickass says, Josh, New York going to start burying people in Central Park. Yeah, I did a video on that today. Check my channel for that. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I'm at 99 likes. I'm a little OCD about that. Victor G says, Puerto Vallarta is the best place for spring break, my best spring break ever. Yeah, and this is spring break right now, and look at it. It's absolutely insane. It's just empty. I left Las Vegas after seeing Las Vegas empty out and the call for martial law, and also the issue that people don't know how to take care of themselves, largely, generally speaking, in the United States, and I was worried that we were going to see mass panic and people breaking into houses and stealing food, and I still think that's very likely ahead. The pain is in front of us still, especially from the economic struggles here, because this is the largest bloodbath in the economy globally in world history. Nothing like this has ever happened before, and God forbid it ever happens again. Anyway, trying to stay out of the sun a bit, just not because my phone, or not because my face is like sunburning, because I'm actually past that phase now. I'm just tanning, but my phone will just like blow up. It just keeps lagging when I go in the sun. Fra M says, do you know UKRT George Galloway? I know of George Galloway, absolutely. Simon Webb says, Christine Lagarde says, old people live too long, we must do something about it. Says her, yeah, and she was indicted, and she was working with the IMF, talking about putting them in Beijing. She was involved in, now she's at the ECB, took over from Mario Draghi, talking about global governance and a global cashless society. She's a piece of trash, and she should be treated like that. Anyway, it's amazing that people even listen to her. I mean, she's been wrong about everything. I've been right about all these economic struggles. Why am I not running the ECB? Anyway, that's a whole other situation. But yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about a lot. They are pushing that 100%, that agenda forward. I mean, look at the move towards China over the last few decades. If you haven't already checked out my video on the Chinese global COVID takeover, I really think you should check it out, because I think that is a puzzle piece that a lot of people are missing right now. And it's unfortunate, because I think that is one of the most dangerous things in the history of modern history anyway, as far as technocracy goes, that is where the danger lies. By the way, tomorrow I'm doing a live show with Benny Wills and Dan Dix and Tim BitChute, of course, at World Alternative Media at around 1:30 p.m. PST, actually, around 1:30 p.m. PST. And I'm getting a haircut finally tomorrow, so thank God for that. I had to call a guy who owned a place here and get him to go to his shop so that he'd give me a haircut. I love the free market. And then, and it's all voluntary, so I think it's free because everything is forced closed as far as hairdressers go. And then I'm also doing a show with Dr. Shiva, the famous doctor, the man who invented the internet and ran against Elizabeth Warren and all sorts of stuff in 2 days, on Thursday at 2 p.m. PST. So make sure to tune in live for that and send in your questions for that and super chats and all those kinds of things. I really appreciate any help I can get here. Look at this. I have 90 viewers out of 139,000 subscribers. I'm actually at 138,990 subscribers right now on YouTube, which is really annoying because I've been there for the last 2 weeks. They freeze my subscriptions at that rate, which is just so ridiculous. But anyway, Kevin Smith sent $2 in the super chat. Says, "Young man, you still got hotel." Appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. I have Airbnb, and I'm working things out individually with the people that run these Airbnbs as well, so that I can get good deals. And you know, I'm like the only person in town getting the Airbnb, so that definitely helps. That definitely helps for them, and it's beneficial for me, and it's mutually beneficial to work out on the free market, and that's the beauty of that anyway. But it's also really sad to see the desperation right now. But look at this beautiful place. Looks a little blurry, but let's walk down here a bit. Like I said before, I'm doing something very dangerous. Sean M says, "You planning on staying in PV?" Yeah, I am for a few months anyway. I would like to live here, but in better conditions. But anyway, many of you probably have not seen in a while. It'll just give you good memories of times outside, you know, where people get exercise, they get healthy, they socially distance from people because outside is vast. And, you know, you meet cool people, you help support the market, you get that sunshine, you know, that John Denver song, "Sunshine on My Shoulders," you know. And, yeah, I highly recommend it. Though in most places in the US right now, they're threatening jail sentences for going outside. Look at this beautiful place here. The crown on the top there was only completed in the 60s. It looks pretty crazy, but it fell off in an earthquake in the 90s. Can you imagine that? This huge crown just falling off that building. Unbelievable. Anyway, I'm boring people, but it's a really, really cool place. I love Puerto Vallarta, and it's also just crazy to watch it or see it so empty. It is so empty right now. You can see in the distance a cruise ship that is filled with allegedly coronavirus patients at this moment. Though that's debatable because they're saying the doctors on board insist it's a flu. The government says it's coronavirus. They went to sea after the fact for 25 days. They came back, and they're not allowed off the ship. It's pretty much criminal what they're doing to them right there. There's nothing I can do. They're not even in the port. They're out of the port, sitting off the port. It's just crazy. I'm not getting any new comments, so I think there's actually a problem here on this video. I'm not sure what's going on here. I see no new comments. So anyway, I think there's a problem with the live feed again, and it's glitched out. So I'm gonna have to get going, I guess. I'm sorry, guys. It's so ridiculous. Hit that like button, share on social media, help us get seen, and check out our latest video report that I posted just a couple hours ago here at WHAM. I really appreciate anything you guys could do to help. Check the links below. Join our new newsletter at iamband.com, www.iamband.com. And put in your email address there. We look forward to hearing from you, seeing you, and We really appreciate you joining us as always. I'm going to be doing a show again tomorrow with Benny Wills and Dan Dix at 1:30 p.m. PST, Pacific time. And I will also be doing a show with Dr. Shiva, the inventor of the internet, on technocracy, the coronavirus, and all this insanity on Thursday at 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure to tune in for that. Oh man, it's a crazy world we live in. And YouTube glitched out, so I can't see any of your new comments, so I apologize for that. If you guys sent in super chats, I thank you so much, and you really are keeping us alive here at WAM, so big kudos to all of you. Until next time, stay safe out there, be safe, be independent, disobey, be a free human being, don't be a slave. Taxation is theft, government is organized crime, never forget that. They are not here to help you. They are only here to control you and find new ways to control you in the most horrible, horrible, atrocious ways. And that's what we're seeing right now. So stay safe, keep your family close, everyone, and try to get some sun. Until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.